Okay, so so viewers, fans, and subscribers all the same, I want to welcome you guys back to the next episode here in the Space Bridge, the podcast series for the Iacon Battle Circuit, sometimes on console and PC both. So today I'm sitting here and resuming the rest of our previous deep dive synopsis into the aspects and kind of background tension of the necessity in replay channels and archiving good gameplay alongside the ethical issues that some past channels have also brought to the table currently in the Rolodex of content ID and controversial attribution, or their own general communal integration that can vary from source to source. So today I have with me is one of the owners of one of our current modern day replay channels that's out here. I want to introduce you guys to Fighting DreamerZ.
Hello, everyone. I'm not sure who is in the chat, but yeah, thank you for coming, for tuning in, and thanks again, Roto, for having me today.
Oh, always. It's a pleasure having you here. So I guess we'll go ahead and start into this here. I guess over the past week or so, how have your thoughts been so far about the context with like the past replay channels and current replay channels?
Yeah, so again, thanks for you and also Bonrad to basically creating those videos on your YouTube channel. It was a bit eye-opening from my perspective because I don't personally spend a lot of time checking what other replay channels do. Like I'm very focused on just improving myself and my channel. So it was a bit like a good retro session to understand from your perspective and Bonrad perspective, how's things going? And also how basically am I heading to the right direction? So it was very eye-opening. So thanks again to both of you. And obviously, like it's a different perspective, new ideas. And I guess from my side, it's like, all right, it's kind of confirming what I'm doing. And I'm going to keep going that way. But at the same side, it's like I realize that some of my counterparts might do things that not everyone agree with. But again, I also understand that some people, they don't agree what I do. So a bit of mixed feelings. However, overall, I would say fairly positive. That's how I see it.
Okay. Let's see. Going in, I guess my first questions here as we go into community feedback, the community feedback assessment is what responsibilities do replay channels have to the players whose matches they upload?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's basically the purpose of a replay channel, I would say, is you don't upload your own game, like you're not like such a great advanced player. However, you would like to showcase other players. So I guess the responsibility, like, yes, it's important. Anything that you should do online that can be impacting, let's say, people's image, reputation on any other social media, not only YouTube, is applying everywhere. I guess like that's something like fairly strong, and we need to make sure that as replay channel, like to do the right thing, give the credit, having the right name. I know that sometimes I do mistakes in the name. I'm so sorry about it. However, like I feel like responsibility is pretty high. It's not because you are behind a laptop, a computer, a webcam, OBS, and you can just do whatever. I guess you still need to make sure that you do things with integrity.
Okay, just stay integrated with the context. Next question. How much should community feedback influence a replay channel's decisions?
That's a good one, actually. So I would say there's like few answers, and basically the only answer, it depends. As a YouTuber, as a replay channel, you have your own identity, you have your own philosophy. So if you want to listen to the community, it's really up to you. Some people, they will just basically be stubborn and say, all right, now, you know what, I do my things. If you don't like it, just don't sub and just ignore me. People will do that. Some other people, they be, all right, thank you for talking with me. Please explain to me. Let me try to be in your shoes to understand what I can improve. And basically, after that, it's up to you if you want to take that in consideration. Because to me, one of the issue, I would say, like maybe, no, it's more like a challenge, actually, not an issue, is you get many feedbacks from many people, but which one weight more? So that's where basically it's a bit tricky. Sometimes you have one person give you feedback and someone else to give you another one, and you're like, how do I basically align everyone to make sure that I got like a fair representation of all my audience? So that's the challenge here.
Okay. And trying to think like which ones are like nitpicky, which ones are like genuine.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And also, from my understanding, and this is not only YouTube, replay, or FGC, just in life, people will be very vocal about complaining. But basically, also a lot of people, when they're happy, they just smile, they just stay silent. So you also need to consider those people. Of course, online, it's very easy to be like a keyboard warrior and say everything that you are unhappy about. But usually you also need to figure out, wow, actually you got one negative feedback, but that's only one out of how many sub viewers you have. So you need to be like kind of keep this idea, right? All right. Like the sky is blue. You got 2, 3 clouds, that's fair. But the sky is blue overall. So you need to understand that one.
Yeah,
Keeping that.
makes sense. Well, I mean, Lord knows, like, depending upon context, there are people that do complain just for the sake of complaining.
Yes, I'm French, so I know what I'm talking about.
Uh, let's see. Next question. Um, what's the difference between constructive feedback and community pressure?
Community pressure. So luckily, I didn't face that yet, and I hope I will never face it. So far, the feedback has been constructive. People were just like thankful overall and just tell me, all right, can you try to do this more, that less, and that just works fine. And also, like the pressure is really, again, it's back to your identity. How much you're willing to listen to the community. Like some people, they might not be interested, so they will have no pressure. That's how it is. However, like I guess you just need to understand, like, all right, if it's a constructive feedback, that's fair. You might want to adjust your direction, and that's totally okay. And you should be thankful to get this feedback because again, people will spend time talking to you. Maybe that's people that never meet you in person. That's maybe the first time they're on your YouTube channel. But here, like they're like, hey, actually, can you do that a bit better? What about your sound? What about your video editing? What about the choice of games? So you need to think about it. I'm like, wow, thank you actually. Like I'm doing things. I'm kind of in the fog, it's blurry, but you spend time to talk to me and tell me what I can do better to be like better for myself, better for the channel, and better for the other viewers. So you need to be thankful of that.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Next question. I guess in terms of like I guess personal context, like what are some examples of feedback that did genuinely help to improve the channel?
Yes. So that's a really good one. I got few examples actually. So when I started again, like it was more to try to understand how YouTube works. So it was never about being like a YouTuber with over 4K subscribers like today. So I'm very thankful. One of the feedback was, please make sure that the games are fair because some players, they reach out to me, hey, I got some great games, but I don't want the other guys to feel bad. So can you just make like a 2-2? I'm like, okay, that sounds like good, like because again, it's not like a tournament set. It was like long set, like 30 game, 40 sets. Basically, just try to find like 2-2 and make it nice so people are happy. So that was a very good feedback. And I guess from there on the channel, if you watch any of my videos, it's always 2-2 just to be like fair with both players. That's one. Two was about like the video editing. I was recording in 2 and 4K, but not in 60 frames per second. But however, I got feedback about, you know what, for FGC, usually we do 1K as a quality, but we need 60 frames per second. And I could adjust that. So I guess it was all right. From my perspective, I didn't understand why, but the advanced player, they explained to me, we watch in slow motion. We like to basically go back a little bit to understand the mix-up. So having 60 frames per second on YouTube, that's important. And just leave it as 1K or maybe 720p quality, and that's going to be totally acceptable. Because in my head, like it was more about, okay, you need like high quality, so 1K, 2K, 4K, maybe 8K one day. But no, actually for FGC, that doesn't make sense. So
Okay.
again, those feedbacks are very good. Those feedbacks were very good.
Next question as we go into the transparency aspect
Mhm.
is how transparent should replay channels be about their selection process?
Hmm, that's a good one. So I will say this. I got a two answer. I got a mixed one here. I don't think first you need to be too transparent. I guess that's you can explain where it's coming from. The selection process is really up to your personal, let's say, choices, your personal preferences. However, like there's something that Raptor told me in my interview with him last year. He was saying to me, because he's a very successful YouTuber, he has only, I don't know, 15 videos, about 70,000 subs. That's crazy. And he just
Okay.
explained to me, like, if you want to stand out, you need to understand that there's many replay channels, but how can you be different? Why would they go to you instead of other YouTube channel? So, sorry, what was the question again? Did I get lost? Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. No, the question was how transparent should replay channels be about their selection process?
Yeah, okay. So transparency. So I would say not too much. However, like I would say be fair, be honest, and make sure that, all right, you find like, again, you need to value your audience time. So try to give them like something different, something unique. That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're not wrong. He has 21 videos and he has like 74.8K subs. That's like, holy shit.
Yes, so he really said to me, all right, like if you want to be YouTube another replay channel, but we have 10 of them already, you need to find a way to stand out. And again, from the interview, he was like, I guess you're heading to the right direction. So here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. How do you avoid accusations of favoritism or why certain players or matches get featured more often?
I never got that so far. So far, I don't have any. I guess just to give context for yourself and everyone. So
Hmm?
I'm from Australia. And I'm way older than the average FGC person. So I got like a different, like a more third party perspective. And when I just started this YouTube channel, like less than 2 years ago, I realized that I'm a bit isolated, but I'm trying to turn that into my own advantage. So I'm really trying to see what's going on in Australia, what's going on in Korea, what's going on in Japan, Philippines, Middle East, Europe, Canada, North America, and Latin America. And I'm literally just rotating. That's how it works. I know that, let's say, if I could choose to put some top world-class player names, I might get more views, but that's not the point. I'm like, no, you know what? The community is very nice to me. They trust me, they accept me, and I just try to rotate. So usually I will just go through my videos and I'm like, I haven't really featured someone from UK or from France for a long time. Okay, so I need to just check for them. So that's how I do it usually. I don't really look at the views or the clicks or whatever it is. I just think about, all right, it's been a long time. I haven't figured someone from Spain or from Canada, and I just rotate like this.
That makes sense. That makes sense in a way. Just going down the representative checklist per se, and making sure that everybody
Hmm.
from like certain areas are all represented. If you haven't featured one in a while, try and circulate back around into that area.
Exactly, and basically, even if sometime I'm because I'm also active on X and also on Twitch, I just remember some names, and as soon as I'm saw the name, I put that in one of my notes. Oh, you need to check this player, and one day try to find some great games about this player and just put them online. Yeah. So I got this process as well. Oh, because sometimes you go to the tournament chat and you realize, oh my God, I forgot about this player and this player. Sometimes I'm forgetful. Apologies for this, but I'm trying to make sure that all right, I got a bit of rotation here.
Yeah,
And also, like, put yourself in the audience shoes. Like, if you want to see, I don't know, Sonny Fox every day, you just go to Sonny Fox YouTube channel. You don't need to go to mine.
yeah. Because there you get a whole Rolodex of this week at Sonic Fox Central.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, usually I'm just trying to make sure that it's not too repetitive and there's a good frequency. Usually, I will say my rule is like once or twice per month for a player. That's my rule.
That's a good rule, actually. And because you're rotating so much between the regions, it's almost unlikely that the same person's going to be featured that frequently within the month.
Mhm.
So that's actually
That's the point.
a good practice.
Well, that's the one I've just found out, and I think it's working well so far.
Okay. Next question.
Mhm.
Can too much transparency create new problems?
Yeah, that's basically kind of going back to what I said earlier. You don't want to give too much as well. So again, you need to understand this is your YouTube channel, this is your identity. Run it the way you think is right. Please listen to the committee. However, being too transparent, I don't really see the points there. You might just open like a can of worms, I would say. And I think that we are all too busy for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, if someone has a question, like feel free to reply. I say that I'm happy to reply. This one I'm not happy to reply for X reason, and that should be fine. Yes.
Okay. Straightforward. Next question
Mhm.
is going into the player discovery aspect. What makes a player discoverable through replay content?
That's a good one because, again, before to start YouTube, like it was really about, okay, Dragon Ball Fighter is a dead game. So I guess we all heard that 100 times a week. And as I go on, let's say, Twitch streams or tournament, I just discover some new players. And I just feel like, okay, like those guys are great. Maybe I could have them on my YouTube channel as well. And I feel I'm just helping out. However, those one actually, when I discovered them personally, I realized they were already famous in their local region. They were already very good, already like pretty famous and strong, well-known players. So I'm just trying to give them like a wider audience here. But they were already very good. On the other side, if any players, they will come to me and they ask, oh, I'm not a great player, so I'm not good as XYZ, but can you please put my videos? And I just ask them, sure, send me your footage, put this in a Dropbox or Google Drive. I get the file, I put the video. I never said no. I never said no. So it goes, that's my two ways, I would say, to find new talent. I just go to streams to just hang out with everyone. And I realize, oh my God, I never heard about this player. But there's also some other players, they know me and they can reach out and I respond to everyone so far. And that's how it works.
Okay. That's really great transparency. You get the
Yes,
known and the
well,
unknown name out there.
it's interesting because like the kind of comment I receive is like, oh, you're the only YouTube channel that can give us like some new people, some new talent. They were saying to me, all right, like if I want to watch these top players, I know where to find them, but you always find like different people, new talent. And so it's, I guess for them, it's kind of, all right, if I want to look for something a bit different, a bit out of the box, I know where to go and they will just go to me. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's a part of what helps to stand out. 'Cause, like if you go to known names, like in one of the previous in one of the previous documents that I did, like if you want to go to
Mhm.
known names, you got sources where you can go for known names because their names are going to get around. They have weight, so there's going to be footage of them to find everywhere. That's like a dime a dozen type of footage for that type of name. But if it's for a lesser known name, then yeah, you want to go to like key sources and see what they're about. And if it's something that's just as good as the mainstream name or the mainstream choices, that helps you stand out in a way because you feature that unknown identity.
Yes, and just to get out a little bit about out of the replay side of it, even for the reflex show, some people they reach out to me and say, "Hey, like I'm not an advanced player. I just want to talk to the community. Can you interview me?" And I never said no as well. So that's cool, you know. Like I'm like, okay, I'm happy to introduce you to the world through my humble YouTube channel. No problem at all.
Okay. And there's a decent amount of talkative people around between PlayStation and PC alike. So there's still some people out there in the scene that probably wouldn't mind honestly being on a Reflex show, or just taking a good shot at the Q&A and just giving their perspective on the journey, and having played, if they played for years, or they just started playing it like during COVID, or they just started playing it when Daima got here.
Yeah, there's a lot, and also like a bit of teaser. I'm working on the Reflex Show 2.0, so I believe like I'm going to showcase more people as well. So hopefully, but still work in progress in my head, like how to structure it. But hopefully, like I can be a bit more open to other region as well.
Okay. Next question. How much influence do replay channels have on building a player's reputation?
I wouldn't say on that one is a tricky one, but a good one. I believe the reputation is not mainly from a replay channel. I guess your reputation should come more from your online or offline tournament experience. This is where more I think like you will really shine. Again, like as soon as you win an offline, a major, that's different than just being on YouTube replay channel. So that's how I see it. However, the replay channel can reinforce that. That's how I see it. I think that again, people understand that you can be very good on replay ranking, but winning a tournament and basically beating up in the same day, in the same tournament, like 10 people or plus, that's a very different type of achievement.
Okay.
So yeah, being on replay, I guess is still good. However, I feel like we know that the best players, they winning tournaments. So that's the difference. And I think that the weight of winning an online tournament or offline tournament versus being featured on a replay is like the earth and the sky. Like there's a big difference to me.
Okay. Because some people would argue that like replay channels help to either add to the weight of the growing name, or it's a part of the foundation to the name's growth.
So, okay, I'm going to step out a little bit of replay. I'm just talking about social media overall, right?
Okay.
So now we have social media. We got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want. And to get famous, you just need to post. Basically, if you want to be famous, you just need to post and make sure you got followers, right?
Media
But
presence.
yes, you just need presence. So, but back in the days, like let's say, so it's not fighting game, but I come from a martial art background. And back in the days, it was you're good because you won a tournament. These days, I would say the people, they will go less to tournaments, but they're happy to have a YouTube channel. They're happy to be on TikTok and put video of them like punching and kicking. And for them, that's it. That's the ultimate recognition there. So that's also like a generation, and also like a, let's say,
There's like a
media
difference.
mindset. So it's a bit different these days. I guess some people, they're like, you know what, as long as people see me online, I got views, I got likes, I'm happy. Fair enough. But back in the days for myself, and I guess I'm still old school in that way, if you win, that means everything else. That's my personal perspective. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like, oh hey L Block, welcome in. Yep, we're sitting here talking with Fighting
Hello, hello.
DreamerZ. How you been? How you doing? Okay, because I believe that like what you're talking about there with the generational POV is like in the previous generation and trying to come up and making a name for yourself. It had to do with being good, and then that crafts the identity. And then nowadays, because of the influence and how like media is just generally around and can help fuel the more finite points of the social media presence and clout building and all that stuff, that helps build the identity more than needing to be good per se.
Yeah, and to be honest, I feel it's a little bit easier. If you say, I got YouTube channel or I got TikTok, if I got money, I just advertise myself as much as possible, and you can see like a straightaway return of investment based on that. But before to win a tournament, there's no way you pay advertising to be on the top. There's no way. So in the musical industry, it's the same. Like let's say you run like an album, a song. Back in the days, you have to go to some companies to help you like to publish your art.
Yeah.
Now you can do it by yourself, and you can auto promote yourself through online marketing, and you can basically spread your voice and your song to the whole world in one day. So for some people, that's enough. And that just reminds me something else. Like back in the days, I was working for a tech company, and Lady Gaga got interviewed by one of the VP at Google. So imagine Lady Gaga, she's at Google. She's got basically interviewed there by one of the VP. And the VP of Google asked questions from the audience online and offline to Lady Gaga. And one question was, Lady Gaga, if you could give one advice to someone who wants to start to become like a singer, what would be the advice? Imagine Lady Gaga at Google, she said, get out of YouTube and go perform in a bar. That was her answer.
That's kind of wholesome.
Because Lady Gaga
you gotta start somewhere.
Online you can have all the viewership and audience you want, sure. But when you perform in a bar, when you see the people clapping, cheering for you, that's something you cannot have that online. And I was thinking, wow, she got the guts to say that at Google when Google also owned YouTube. But everyone just agree, yeah, like online is great, but if you can have kind of this victory thing offline, it means everything.
Okay. I like the suggestion, honestly, because it's got to start somewhere. And a bar is like it's a very common place, but it also helps to attribute a lot of the starting principles and just going into that whole craft, and just start with something basic to sing, and before you start going into something bigger to sing.
And also, you know that online, let's say, if I want to put a nice photo of myself on Instagram, I would just choose the right one, the best one. But when you perform live, you have no second chance. You have no second shot. You just have to do it well on the spot.
Yeah, you only get one shot in those instances. So you got to just
That's why,
put your
guys,
best foot forward.
support your online, support your offline as well. This is when the real things happen.
It is. Next question. As we're going into wrapping up player discovery, moving into deeper discussions, is how do you think most replay channels can do a standard job or a better job in highlighting a lot of the emerging talent? Because I know some channels don't, not even necessarily just replay channels, but in terms of like looking back at other events or exhibitions, maybe. I'm just thinking there is a lot of differing sources in order to try and find, and sometimes you're not in sometimes you do miss some things out there. Not everyone's going to get everything, but how can replay channels improve highlighting a lot of that emerging talent?
That's a tough one. And this is a bit what I'm trying to do, but again, that might not be the perfect answer. But if you want to basically show those emerging talents, you should also do something else than replay. So basically, you need to keep replay as your identity. You might want to make that part smaller and just extend on other part, or where you basically try to give more to those emerging talents. Yeah. But again, like I don't have like a great answer for you right now, but really, your question is about emerging talent and replay channel. So we covered that already about being reachable, accessible, can be interviewed, can be featured. Replay only, I guess if you don't have the context as an emerging talent, that's hard. And that's why you should do something a bit different and just explain, right, there's these players, that was this event, this is what happened, and this is a new name, and you guys need to pay attention. So it's still replay, but you need just to add some value to change it in a way. This is discovery. This is not replay. This is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
That does make a little bit of sense.
Yeah, sorry. Like maybe that was not the best one. Yeah.
Oh no, it's all good. Like you were able to answer it as best as you can. I mean, it wasn't like a 100% question because it could be looked at and interpreted a lot of different ways.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Next question here as we go into the deeper discussion aspects. One of these I'm going to skip because we did actually inadvertently answer that question when I talked about, when you were talking about like your rotation practice. It goes kind of sort of into this question where I was going to ask, how do you balance featuring top players versus showcasing regional talent? And you actually inadvertently answered that question when we were going through. The replay channels unintentionally. Next thing was, do replay channels unintentionally affect tier perceptions or character popularity?
Good one. Good one. So I would say you mean characters from the game roster, correct?
Yeah, characters from the game roster.
Yeah, that's a tricky one because again, you want to grow a YouTube channel, so you need to stay trendy. And if there's a new DLC, I think you should showcase that a bit more. Right? That's how it is. But again, at some point, you need just to go back to the basic. All right, people wants to learn this character. They want to understand the matchup. They want to understand the combos, the staggered, and everything else. So please give them what they need right now because timing is everything as well, especially on YouTube. You need to be relevant. However, I guess after some time, it's good to just be, all right, I guess we cover the most essential part of this character. Now we can go back to, let's say, a more variety of characters. Again, when I basically also rotate the players, at the same time you're rotating the characters, so it's kind of, what's the name? Two birds, one stone, something like that.
Oh, yeah. So you're showcasing a new player also with a new character. Yeah, that would be like two birds, one stone.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was. I never know if it's like two birds or two stones, so I'm just like.
Yeah. I know there was another metaphor. I think about like one bat is like two in the belfry or something like that. I just can't remember like what was the context for like that particular type of wording, or it's like what old fellas used to talk about when they have like word of phrases that work with like context.
Yeah, I can't remember that one either.
Yeah, I have no idea. Next question. Should replay channels prioritize tournament results, rank play, exhibitions, or community events?
That's a hard one, especially for the case of Dragon Ball Fighters. When you check the replay, there's no really way to tell what is the context outside of it. So it's your duty to understand, all right, there was this event that there's the replay date and timestamp on that day, most likely from this event, so you could skip that part. Or what you could do as a replay channel, we talk about it already offline. We have some collab features on YouTube. You usually, the TOs, they're going to have those videos on their YouTube channel. If, again, part of your identity, if you want to be part of the community, nothing stops you to, hey, you know what? You got your audience, I got my audience. There's some crossover, there's some overlap. However, I can still help you in some ways. Send me a YouTube collab links. I click on it. So all my viewers can see your video and you get all this viewership like attribution to you. And that's totally free. So you just need to be aware what the community is doing and make sure that you're not stepping on their toes, if I could say. Try to be different because again, what's the point to go to your replay channel when the game is already featured on the official TO's YouTube channel? That doesn't make sense. And also they got commentary, and sometimes you can see the chat in it. That's something you don't have on your replay channel. So if you really want to have some more fun, live reaction and also live chat reaction, probably you should go to the TO's YouTube channel to watch that game. And basically, if you want to help, just get a collab link. And shout out to everyone that trusting me and to do all those collabs. It's been fun, like all of you, so you know who you are. But yeah, I guess it's good like to basically help each other now.
Okay. Next question. Are replay channels becoming a part of the competitive ecosystem rather than just observers? Like, is it like a good media outlet or a community service or something more?
Yeah, actually, I guess it's, well, I'm talking from my side. I'm trying to really merge myself as much as possible with the community, and I guess that's the beauty of it. Like, because as a content creator, doing replay after almost 2 years is very repetitive. Again, it's like you by yourself, you click record, you get the footage, you edit it, you upload. Basically, that's it, right? There's not much creativity to add into it. However, as soon as you link with the community, you understand the context, and that's interesting. Then you get ideas, and you can see, oh, actually, we could do that. We can also do that. We can also add on top. We can add value. So, to me, yes, it started as a media outlet. Then it became a community service because, again, it helps emerging talents to come in as well. And where you can, based on your skills, add value, that'd be great. And also, it's good to feel like, okay, I'm doing something meaningful for the community. That's a very great feeling.
Okay.
So just to go back to a bit what I said earlier, like replay, yes, but do that a bit less. And by doing less, it means like you have to do way more of other things around it. And I guess I've been trying to evolve in that space. And so far, like I'm very happy with it personally. Like I feel like, wow, if I'm just being there, just clicking record, edit, upload, my brain will go nuts. But here, having chat with you, no, like again, like I have a question for all the other replay channel. Is it fun to do so every day, every week about play, record, edit, upload? Is it fun? I don't think so at some point. But meeting the community, exchanging ideas, having love, having conversation, debating, arguing, like, I'm having a blast. And that's why when I created the Reflect Show, I was so happy. Oh my God, every weekend I can just chat and meet and we can see what we can do. And from there, you realize, C4IQ, I work on this love letter for Dragon Ball Fighters. I'm like, yes, I can create a dashboard. Then we can go like, again, it's just being way more fun when you're part of the community. That's my perspective. But if you're very introvert and you're just happy to click play, record, edit, upload, that's fair, but you're missing a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just, I'm pretty sure it's okay up to a point, but then it does feel like it becomes like fairly monotone after a while when it's just the same thing, when you can do more for the same, not more, but something different like what you're talking about for the same effort and reach, probably.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like when I started YouTube, I just tried to understand the process because my son, like long story short, he wants to become a YouTuber and a streamer later. So I just wanted to learn how YouTube works, and that's how it started. And after a week or two, like, okay, I understand how to upload a Dragon Ball Fighters video on YouTube. Like I got it. But then people like, subscribe, and comment, and you realize, wait, actually, that's the fun part. How you interact with your audience, understand their need, what they like, what they don't like, how you can adjust. That's basically like you play fighting games. Like you give me a question, I give you an answer, and there's different layers, and then you can just basically grow. And that's why I'm excited and happy about.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're interested in getting into the work, it's never too late. Honestly, to just start a YouTube channel. YouTube channel doesn't have to be looked at as a business or something that you have to do. It can be something that just starts as something really fun that you just do in a pastime.
Exactly. And to be honest, if I look at all my hours I work on the YouTube channel and how much revenue from YouTube I get, I will stop straight away. It's not financially doesn't make sense for me to do that. With the amount of hours and the revenue, I'm just like, I just need to just find like I don't know, I just need to do some extra hours at work and I got way more. So money is great. I won't spit on it, of course. But if you do it just to get money, I think you're not I don't think that's the right choice. That's my perspective. Yeah.
You lose the fun in it if you're trying to look at if you're trying to look at the
Oh,
monetary gain that YouTube has, well, the lack thereof actually, in order to try and turn this into some type of a business. You're losing the fun before you even get to have fun.
yeah. Well, I guess it's also like maybe like the like I got a son. I told you he wants to be YouTuber streamer. For them, it's like, wow, I can be famous by playing video game and I can be on stream. And yes, that's what they want to do. I respect that. But one day, like a reality check will hit. Oh yeah, actually, I need a real-time job. Yes, you need like a real life job. But hopefully, some of them are successful, and I'm very happy for them. But I don't think everyone can be. Like, if you're living from YouTube only with video game, wow! Like, I'm very impressed because, um, what's his name? Button check.
Oh, Ernesto, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ernesto, did you see not a long time ago he was about to close his YouTube channel?
He talked about that because that was what led him to really like starting the Patreon, was because people, when he said he was going to close up the YouTube channel, a lot of people really wanted to keep him here. They didn't want him to feel like this was going to be like a huge deficit for him to still keep being like the eagle eye for a lot of these
Mhm,
communities and for this whole genre at the cost of him like not really having been able to find work and take care of his family. Like
mhm.
these communities really pull through and help a lot. They raised a lot of money for him.
That's great, yes. And I'm very grateful of this story because I always see him like as an example in the FGC in terms of content. But think about it. Just step back. He has over 70K subscribers. 70K. That's massive. He uploads 1 to 2 videos a day, and in average, they got 1,000 likes, not views, 1,000 likes. And he's doing all the sponsorship, marketing here and there, but still it's rough for him to make a living from it. So I guess it was really eye-opening because from my perspective, I was, wow, if one day I could reach Ernesto Lopez level, I would be, let's say, like the king of the world, the king of the hill. But no, even at his level, 70K sub, 2 videos a day, or 1 or 2 a day, and 1,000 likes, or I don't know how many views, he still struggle. He still struggle. So I guess it was a good reality check for me. But I'm very happy this is still on the scene. I wish him all the best. But again, that's not easy. Like, don't like some people. I don't want them to think, oh, just put videos on YouTube and you become rich. I'm like, totally untrue.
Yeah, that's very untrue. No, you gotta have a lot of you gotta be in tune with the algorithm and trending and be in touch with your lane. Like whatever your niche is, that thing that you do, you have to be in tune with it in order to see something come back besides just money.
Oh yes, but again, like to me, like when I started replay, I got some comments and okay, you're stealing, you're making money. And in my head, I was, dude, like I'm not making even $1 a day. What are you talking about? Like, am I like such a fraud? Like for that much money, like $1 a day? What are you talking about? And when I saw Ernesto, like I was, oh my God, if one day I can reach 30K, 40K, and even 10K, I will be like the happiest person on the planet. But him at 70K, he struggles, and I was, okay, maybe YouTube for money, it's something you guys should consider if you want to be serious about it. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. What does it may be a tricky question, but
Go ahead.
what does accountability look like when there isn't like a formal governing body in an FGC?
I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer this, but I'll do my best. So government body, it's how to make sure that replay YouTube channels doing their job the best way. Um, Again, this is FGC, it's community, like it's really kind of open source, I would say, and there's no rule. The best rule that we could have is basically ourselves. And also, when you wake up in the morning, are you proud of what you have done on YouTube the day before or what you're going to do this week? I guess that's basically the big check that I do. Or like, you know what? Yesterday I interviewed someone. It was fun. It's going to be online. People will like it. People will connect. People will play together. They meet together. That means everything to me. For replay channels, respectively, it's more about, all right, this video is live. Those two videos are live. People like it. Cool. But how are the comments? I can have 100 likes. I'll be okay, cool. But if people comment, wow, that was such a great set. I didn't know this guy. Or look at this mix up. Oh, I learned something. What happened there? That didn't make sense. Can someone explain to me? Having those conversations, to me, that's like, all right, I added value and I'm very happy about it. So personally, I'm very more into the community and comment section than I will look at the views or the likes. That's the kind of person I am. Like, if you ask me, oh, do you know the views, the likes? I've said no, but I know who commented on what, and this is why to me is more interesting. So in terms of governance, it's really how you as a YouTuber, you feel about your YouTube channel, and basically what do you want to achieve? What do you want to put some replay? You want to put some videos of players? Okay, is that for them? Is that for you? Is that the viewers? What are you trying to achieve? What I'm trying to achieve personally, I want people to learn something, to connect, and with that, I'm happy with it. So this governance part is really, we can have a global one. That's going to be very hard, but I'm trying to have the governance at my level. So here's like, all right, that's what I want to achieve when I showcase these guys, basically. Does that answer your question?
That does answer my question fairly a fairly good bit, because there are like examples through most like communities, not even fighting game communities, but in gaming communities where like a governing body would be like starting with whoever has like the most influence or whoever has the most consistent input of something or towards something that seems to be okay. This is like a person of interest where okay, you kind of sort of sway the majority of a thought or a thinking because okay, they invest in this voice or this not so much this person but this voice or voice like this. So people that talk like this or that think this way have like a higher level of not necessarily like a
Wait.
free pass, but yes, they have more weight to their voice or to their decision. And I don't necessarily like that. I understand why some communities, if they don't naturally have those elements in their ecosystem, then that's why they kind of gravitate towards these people like a moth to a flame, so to speak. But they also have to try and develop their own sense of an identity in order to contribute to their weight, not so much that existential weight.
Yeah, I guess I see. Who do we have here? Oh yeah, maybe here for Dragon Ball Fighters, we might get this kind of community when people are more active in the anything which is like kind of esport related, like the World Tour. I guess those people they might have some privilege, but that's okay.
Right. Like in terms of like fighters' community, I could say,
Yeah.
and this is my take on it from based off of just like systemically understanding fighters' ecosystem and its evolution over the past 8 years. I would say like someone that has weight now that's still around is probably like VIII would probably be one for the UK scene. He has a good deal of weight to his name. For NA, I could definitely say KJ Pixels probably has more than he realizes. He has a lot. He has a pretty good amount of people that do pay attention to what he talks about, whether or not I agree with it or disagree with it. Everybody has a good eye to him most of the time. Some something, not necessarily bum, but someone or people of his circle, I think, have
Mhm.
different layers of influence in the high in the underknown hierarchy for fighters and what they're contributing, not taking away from the scene's identity in terms of like what they think needs to be or what they think is, and then that kind of generates some weight to its own right.
Yeah, I guess it's fair, and also like I also want to acknowledge that they went through a long way to get there. Like it's pretty good. Like they could reach that. However, like I'm not sure like how they are. Like I didn't really meet them personally, but I'm pretty sure they can be open-minded as well and be open to new idea and suggestion. And again, like that's something I said to my previous interview actually, but I'm going to repeat right now. Um, do you know Cleo or Chloe Abram?
No, I do not.
Yeah. Okay. So she's a YouTuber and she's kind of new and she's doing a lot of discovery documentary about science, which is amazing. And she's been interviewed by another YouTuber, and this YouTuber is Josh Yusai. He's basically helping YouTubers how to be successful. So I watch a lot of his content on YouTube. So he interviewed her and he asked her, what are your biggest takeaway for the last 1 or 2 years? Because she's very new. She's very new into YouTube. And she said two things. The first thing, you never underestimate someone's intelligence. I guess that's fair, right? You never
Yeah.
underestimate anyone's intelligence. And the second takeaway, which is interesting, is never overestimate the experience. Because we live such in a bloody fast-paced environment, and what was true a few years ago might not be true today anymore. So I know you've been there for 10 years or 15 years, but today, in your context, it can be science, can be FGC, can be Dragon Ball, it can be anything you want. How it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or last year is still relevant today. So maybe your experience is not that relevant anymore. And I guess that's fair. So again, being open to suggestion, open to ideas, and make sure that, yes, you have all this experience that you gain, but is that today meaningful? I guess that's good to have, to keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah, in a way, it's like it's good to have. Well, in terms of like that takeaway is like it's good to have the knowledge on hand, but is it like the more relevant knowledge? Is it like up to date knowledge?
Exactly, exactly. And again, it's not because it worked well 5, 10 years ago that today is still working. Because again, it's a new generation.
Yeah. Yeah, and things change as the generational focal point changes.
Yeah, well, think about just Dragon Ball Fighters. We don't have World Tours anymore. We don't have Season
Right.
Pass anymore. So now it's a lot about online events. Back in the days when I was playing the game and following the game, it was just about World Tours and offline all the time. I remember that. Oh my God, it was just offline constantly. People traveling here and there. But now it's like, all right, online events, and that's fine. It's just different.
Right. And like I can understand why it's different, or people I understand why people feel a different way because it's different, but you also have to understand that that is what happens sometimes with the times and with some IPs is that some aren't necessarily graced with like offline uh, representation like that
Mhm.
as much as others. You do gotta some get phased out, some also get phased back in. It just depends on timing and opportunity.
Yeah.
Next question. And if you guys out there again have any questions, comments, or concerns, pop them away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure who is. I can't see who is in the chat, but yeah, if you have question, let me know.
Right now it was just L Block in chat and one of my friends that was in chat.
Hmm.
Let's see. What would an ideal relationship between replay channels, players, and TOs look like?
It's a hard one to please everyone. However, do what you can. I guess with players, casual players, advanced players, like be fair. I guess that's all I can say. Like be nice. Like make sure that if they're on your replay channel, give them a shout out. Make sure that they're happy about it as well. Because personally, I got 2 players. They reach out and they said, "I don't want to be on your YouTube channel ever again." It never happened, and we could. So you need to respect. At the end of the day, it's not my game. At the end of the day, that's their game. So they have the strongest opinion voice there, obviously. So they're not on the YouTube channel. However, the funny part is they reached out to be interviewed in the Reflex show. So it was very interesting. See? They said, not for replay, but I would love to be on the Reflex show. I'm like, sure. So that was just very interesting. So that's good. That's a good relationship with myself. But again, it's outside of replay. That's how it is. With TOs, I will try my best not to take replays from games of the event. I'm sure I did some mistake in the past, and if I did, I'm so sorry about it. However, now I'm way more aware about it. So again, knowing what's happening in the community, that's important. Just to make sure that your content is authentic, it's not being somewhere else. There's YouTube, great features about copyright to help you about it, which is nice. But like I said earlier, collab is great. All right, you know what? If you're interested, I got my viewership, you got viewership. I know there's a high crossover because it's both Dragon Ball Fighters, but I'm happy to help. It takes 5 seconds and it's free. Why not doing it? This is where sometimes I just don't understand. It's like, all right, send me a link. Your video is on my YouTube channel. You get all the views, all the likes, all the cash from it. And it's totally free for myself to do it. And I'm helping the community. So I guess it's where you need to know what are your options, like in the fighting games. Let's say you're blocking in the corner, or what do I do? Got cancel, spark, whatever, or you just block. Here you need to think about, okay, that in this situation, how I can help, how I can give back to the community, know your options, and just play with it.
Yeah. 'Cause honestly, ever since like YouTube put the feature on here, it's like it's a whole other like unified outlet that you have access to it at almost any time in order to share the same idea without necessarily needing to have it on one place, and then you go just to the one place and you got a credit. You can just collab it that way. You see both channels that made the idea or that are a part of the idea.
And so I got 2 things I want to add, please. So first of all, shout out to StealTheShank. He was the first one to introduce me to these collab features. So I didn't know about it until someone pointed out to me. So thanks again. And 2, so I work in data. And basically in data, you got a maturity framework. And the first one is basically you nascent, like you don't know what's going on. You're just learning, okay? You just born, you just arrived to this world. Then it's emerging, okay? You try to understand what's going on. The next one is connected. When you're connected, you understand the ecosystem, you understand who does what. And multi-moment is like how you play with each other. So based on this data framework, nascent, emerging, connected, multi-moment, I'm trying to apply that again to YouTube because when it's your job, you understand the mindset and you just try to think how I can apply this for YouTube or business. So that works for me. So that's why I'm like, this is where I was. I know the ecosystem. I connect and basically multi-moment. I'm trying to play a role in this ecosystem here.
Okay. So understanding the role that you seek to try and have, and then try to optimize it.
Yes, and again, like your video and the one from Bonrad was very eye-opening. I'm like, well, I got like a bigger role, more important one, very eye-opening. So trying to adjust there, and also like just a bit of teaser for next week. But I'm going to do something for outside Dragon Ball Fighters for the FGC overall. So trying to see where you can add value, where you can, yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Mhm.
So let's say 5 years from now, let's say, what role do you think that replay channels would have in most fighting game communities? Not all of them, but just in most of them.
5 years from now, replay channels. Okay. I do hope we're going to see more crossover collaboration with, let's say, FGC communities, like having tiers on one side, replay on the other, play on the next one. I guess it's great, but I guess together, like we're playing a tight game actually. So synergy can be very important, and I do hope that we're going to see more collaboration. I'm not talking only about YouTube collaboration, but even on Twitch, I can see people streaming the same content at the same time. See that more often. I'm not sure what the new features and how the audience and the FGC will evolve in 5 years. However, I feel there will be way more integration. It will be more multi-moment, like I explained earlier. That can be very interesting. I'm not sure yet how, but again, like think about it. Also, YouTube, I guess as a streamer, you can now stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So being multi-moment, being more connected, I guess this is where replays, if they want to survive, I think they need to head to that path. If you just want to do replay in your cave, in your corner, fine, it's your choice. I disagree. I don't think you're going to survive in 5 years, even if you've been here for X amount of years. I think at some point the community will be, you know what? Why would I go to you? It's just your world when I can have like a wider world with tiers, replays, and players, and maybe content creators for tutorial or whatever. And that can be very interesting in 5 years. I think there's going to be more like generic content like we do right now, like when we discuss ideas, and that might lead to something very good. I believe so. And I'm trying to get ready myself for it, and I'm trying to be like an active player in that space as well.
Okay.
But replay only in 5 years, I guess you're going to have a hard time. That's you can quote me on X, Twitter. You want to mark my words, you can, if you want. But in 2031, my God, 2031 in 5 years, if you're just doing replay on YouTube, uh, that's not going to be that fun. I don't think so.
Okay. And I mean, they might seek more. They might. It just depends on how in tune they want to be with the content, or they just think that this is one thing that's going to like ride you to the gravy train. Then, no, and then you'll have to figure out how to adapt, or well, no, what was the term? Oh, sink or swim.
Oh, sync or swing. Okay.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to apply.
Mm, well, look, I'm pretty happy and proud what I've done so far, and I hope it's going to get even better. And I hope it's going to, how can I say, influence in a positive manner the future's upcoming YouTuber for replay or whatever. Like trying to give them, all right, you know what? That's how it used to be very successful a few years ago. But this part where the fun is happening, you're missing out. What do you want at the end of the day? I guess we just want some fun. But personally, I just want some fun every day.
And then, what levels of fun are you seeking?
Yes. If you want just to see a few dollars at the end of the month from YouTube to your bank account, I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Nah.
Well, I'm just thinking you missing out, and that's sad. But again, your choice. Your choice. It's only my humble opinion.
Okay. Let me go into my discussion closer here. This is going to be for you guys in chat, and then I will also go on ahead and give my closer to the discussion. So for you guys in chat, my question to you is, if you guys could change one thing about how replay channels interact with their communities tomorrow, what would it be and why? leave that down in the comment section down below when you can. Me and Fighting Dreamers would like to know. And then to close out on this closing note is to understand replay channels. A replay
Mhm.
channel is never just a collection of videos. It's a gathering place and an archive, and often a community's living record. The choices we make about what gets highlighted or remembered or shared help shape the identity of the scene itself. Long after the conversations fade, the replays remain, reminding us of that every scene writes its own history, right? The responsibilities of the replay channel isn't necessarily to be objective, but it's to be honest. Every replay channel is telling you a story through the choices that it makes. And the question isn't whether the storyteller has a perspective, it's whether they're genuine about the perspective and transparency with the community that they're serving and or broadening. What tends to influence trust in communications with or watching the storytelling or the storyteller is presenting the selective or pending incomplete or possibly biased, unbiased narrative as if it were told in full to be the truth. And communities can usually tell the difference. This is what leads to splits sometimes with some storytellers over others in understanding who's real or who isn't, or was this story that this storyteller is telling us, was this perhaps told somewhere before and you put your own spin on it in order to fool an untrained ear or eye, per se. Communities don't just remember the stories that were told, they remember who told them or why they told them or whether they believe them. Their value isn't measured in the views or the uploads, but it's in the role that they play as the storytellers of a scene's past, present, and a lot of the times also its future. In many ways, replay channels don't just document communities, they also help create them. In this sense, authenticity isn't just the virtue for any one channel, it's a part of its identity that all of them speak of. That's my closing statement.
Yeah, I can just add on this one. It's very interesting because you just remind me one of the first feedback comment I had. There was this player, shout out to Pumping Priest from Germany, one of the first basically to comment and support me from day one.
Okay.
He was telling me like, please don't be like other YouTubers. And I'm like, can you tell me more? Can you please expand the topic? He was saying, oh, I was playing this set with my friend. And basically, I guess the set was like 7-8 or the first to 7. It was very close. But when he saw that on replay, it's like he got body like 4-0. So he was a bit like, oh wow, actually the set was very close, but when people see it online on this YouTube channel, it looks like I got bodied like 3 or 4-0. And I'm like, oh yeah, right, I got what you mean. I got what you mean. So transparency, guys, yeah, I guess is good. That's why some people, let's say in my videos, they're like, oh, that was a close set. And actually the players, some of them, they're very humble. They said, well, Fighting DreamerZ is very nice because actually it was a 10-2. Like I just find 2-2 to make them look good, make it fair. But some players, they're so humble, they just put in the comment, thank you for the video, but actually I got bodied like 10-2 or 15-2 or stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you for the honesty, but I appreciate that. Yeah. But again, based on what you said, transparency, like I guess, yeah, I guess that's going to be like something important for the future.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, that's everything that I have here for you today. I thank you for taking time out of your day and your morning in order to sit and go over the panel here with me today.
Nice. Well, look, thanks again for having me. And I can't wait to see like how the feedback of the community. I hope it's going to be like maybe eye-opening for others and maybe something better for overall. Sometimes, when you need to go through changes or transition, it's never easy for anyone. But maybe we're at the stage that actually we need a change and let's do that together properly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole new landscape, so it's a chance to just try something new and try something more inclusive that we didn't think about or didn't really give the chance last generation. Try it this one.
It's all right. Like we just need to be able to stay humble, take feedback, listen, be a good communicator, and adjust when we can, where we can. Things won't happen overnight, but bit by bit, all right, we're going to do less of this and more of that. I guess we should be good. Just trust the direction.
Yeah, communication and direction.
Cool. All right.
All right, again, thank you for taking time to sit and go over everything today. This was a really educational conversation.
Thank you for having me. Like my first interview for Dragon Ball Fighters. Thanks again a lot.
Oh, hey, you are most welcome.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
All right, I'll see you, man. Have a good one ahead. Let's see. All right, chat, we're going to go on ahead here and get ready to raid. You guys have a good one ahead. And like I always say.